Well, good afternoon, everybody. We've got 2 hours of Craftalong, and this is an opportunity for us to really celebrate what makes Hochanda such a special place, because it's all about sharing that education. And allow me to share two very special people with you. We've got the lovely Hayley and John.
Hello.
Hello. How did this happen? Tell me about the collaboration.
It's down to this guy over here, because, tell the story, John.
Yeah, I about 2 years ago, I absolutely loved the Husqvarna Viking machine.
Yeah, it's an incredible machine.
It is, and I saw it on air, and Hayley wowed me with it, and so I went and bought one, as you do, because I want to get into it.
Now, at the time you bought, and I'm leading somewhere with this, at the time you got your machine, this is a really cheeky question, how much? I feel really bad asking.
It was more than it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
By about £400, to be honest.
Well, this is the key. And what I'd love you to do is have a look, because we can still get hold of this machine, see the Craftalong. The price it's offered at right now is the most competitive price I could find anywhere. Because we did our research, and Hayley, we did a show recently, and we saw this machine being sold for $1,400, $1,300. I think there was one place where it was just over $1,000.
Yeah. Well, this is it. It's an exclusive deal that we've got here at Hochanda, because you've got your 2-hour Craftalong involved with this one. And this came about because, as John said there, he invested in this machine. We've sold lots of these machines. They've been selling it at Hochanda for 4 years, over 4 years now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people at home who have invested in this, and a bit like John, naming and shaming, haven't got it out of the box, haven't downloaded the software. What have you made with yours, John?
I've made 2 Roman blinds and a cushion.
Which is fabulous, but you could have done that on a more economically priced machine. You're not using it to its potential.
No, I have a £60 cheap supermarket machine at home, and I could have made them on that. I'm not going to pretend. I bought this for the features, and I've been so scared. I asked Hayley and said, can you do a show for brand new beginners? Could you do a show and I'll come in on my own and sit behind and you can show me through it? And that's where this came from, was me asking the Hochanda family, I've spent a lot of money on something that I absolutely love, but I'm too scared to use it. Please, can you help? And the answer came back, yes, and this is it.
You spent $1,400.
And it's worth every penny of that. Worth every penny.
I'm not knocking the price, but you spent $1,400 and you've made 2 blinds.
Yes.
And a cushion, that's okay, and a cushion.
You know, I'm a craft hoarder. You know, my name's John and I'm a craft hoarder. We all have it, you know, Hayley, we are.
But around the country there'll be lots of people in a similar situation.
What we would say, if you have got this machine, maybe you're in a similar boat and you've used it on its basic capacity, what we're going to be doing during this Craftalong is really showing you where the Husqvarna Viking can take you, the J35. Let me just show you, well, we'll discuss what you're actually getting with the Craftalong, because not only are you getting a fabulous price on the machine itself, $899.98 just for the machine is incredible. Do your own research, you'll realise that is a phenomenal price. But on top of that, we're getting a lot more. What are we getting, Hayley?
Well, within the package of the machine, you've got your machine, which is a comprehensive sewing machine to start with. You've got, whoops, there goes the hoop. Sorry. You've got loads of stitches, so you're going to be able to use it as a regular sewing machine, a comprehensive sewing machine that you'd probably pay between £500 and £600 for. That's just as a sewing machine, but then you are getting an embroidery machine. Now, an embroidery machine, you could quite easily be paying £700–800 just to embroider. Easy. Nothing else.
And what kind of size hoop would we get?
You're probably talking about kind of pockets, monogram kind.
Okay. Anything like this?
No.
Look at the size of that bad
And the thing
boy.
is, with those machines, you don't have the capacity to upgrade to a larger hoop either. It's just one size hoop and that's it. Husqvarna Viking have included the largest hoop that you can use on this machine. Now, there are others you can get. You can get that smaller hoop. You can work on a smaller project within this hoop. We'll chat about that later on. But they have given you the largest hoop that you need. You'd probably be paying around £60–70 for a hoop that size anyway.
Good value.
But then you've got the software. Now, the software is key with this. And John, in half an hour, I mean, it's amazing.
I said to Hayley, I mean, the thing is, we travelled down, we were at another show yesterday. But we stayed in a hotel last night, Sam and I. We've come in here today, all off our own backs. You know, no one's paying us for this or anything. We've done this ourselves. And I said to Hayley, the half an hour she gave me with the software earlier was worth all of it. Was everything. I pay at the moment £18 a month for design software that I use in my designing. This is as good. And this is included. This is what I couldn't get over. I'm paying a subscription for something that doesn't have some of the features of this. It is amazing. It really genuinely
is. The software itself, if you were to buy that, that's equivalent about £200. So you've got that on top of your £600 sewing machine, your embroidery facility with this, which is spoken about, say another 600, let's be conservative. Then you've got your software, which would be another couple of hundred on that. So we're probably talking about £1,600 already before we start adding in the bundle that you've got. Husqvarna Viking have put together 3 stabilisers. Again, we'll chat about this. You'd probably be paying around £45 for those, £15 a roll, something like that. You've got 2 pairs of scissors, applique scissors, which John will be using a little bit later on. In fact, you might be using them yourself, Yanis. We'll see how it goes. Those would normally set you back probably in the region of £30 there or thereabouts, £25, £30. And you've got your Craftalong. Now, the Craftalong for your book, you can buy that independently. It's at the bottom of the screen. So if you've got the machine already, you can get hold of that and then you can craft alongside us at a later stage, because this is going to be available on YouTube. You can watch it as time goes on. And even if you just want to download Sam the Jelly Baby, check out my Facebook page. You'll be able to find out how to do that.
We're going to get to the Craftalong in just a moment. Now, this show, these 2 hours, I know we're a shopping TV channel, but it's not about sales. What we want to do, we want to start the show, just show you what you can get, and then we're going to sit down and we're really going to explore this machine. What I will say to you right now, because I know a few machines have gone into baskets, it's a considered purchase. What I'd advise you to do, if you've got access to the internet, have a look, do your own research, see how much this is retailing elsewhere. We've done this. We know, and we're confident to say it is the best price we could find anywhere.
If people want to email in and ask anything as well, take advantage of me being here.
If you already have your machine. But if you have got it in your basket, once it arrives, you can always revisit the Craftalong, because we've got a store, a library of all our Craftalongs on our show. Okay, sale's over. We're going to get to our Craftalong. We've just got a little video explaining a bit more.
Would you like to improve your crafting techniques by watching and crafting along with your favourite Hochanda guest demonstrators, all from the comfort of your own home? If the answer is yes, then we are very excited to invite you to Craftalong, where you, our presenters and guests, will create an amazing array of projects throughout the year. So tune in, be inspired and create with Craftalong, your monthly crafting workshop.
So we're going to get started with our Craftalong. What I would say, if you have got the Jade Husqvarna Jade 35 in your craft room or at home, this is a great opportunity to discover more. We've got Hayley here. Please get your questions in. We'll always try and find an answer. What are we going to be doing?
Okay, well, the Craftalong is to create, well, you've got enough fabric. If you're frugal, you could potentially be making 2 of these. You're only going to get one of the notebooks or one of the sketchbooks within your Craftalong. But the one that we're going to concentrate is this one here, where you've got Sam the Jelly Baby, which many of John's fans will recognise.
Sam was drawn by me. He is on all my packaging. As he's drawn by me as well, if you download the file to use, and the file is free, I'm quite happy for anyone to use it for themselves or to sell.
Okay.
So you can have a full angel policy on that from me. I've drawn him, he's mine. And if you want to go out there and make some money off him, I'm more than happy for anyone to do that.
That's really generous.
That's fine. We'll try and make sure I put it onto my Facebook or something somewhere as well for anyone. But yeah, help yourselves.
Hayley, really silly question, but that's obviously John's logo. So you're saying with the machine, we're able to design and actually import into the software?
Well, you can design, you can bring images, bring embroidery designs in. So I've digitised this. The way that you actually take a logo or a photograph or something like that, you have to digitise it. Now, the software that we're talking about here is an introductory level, but I have got the upgraded version. I've got the full package with regards to software. So I've been able to do that on John's behalf. There's loads of companies out there that will digitise software for you. You send them your image, they digitise it and send you you back an embroidery design.
That's cool,
and then you could stitch it out, yes.
All right, okay, I'm intrigued.
Okay, so that's where we're going to get started, but we're not going to use the sewing machine to start with because we need to be able to put this design together.
Yep.
Now, as I mentioned before, with your regular embroidery machine, so this price bracket, this would be something you couldn't do.
No.
Because the size that we've got here, we've got a big size project here. You need a large hoop to be able to actually get all of that stitched out. So that's what we're going to concentrate to start with.
Okay.
So one of the things that I know is a little bit unnerving for people is the software. Now, John, you hadn't even downloaded your software when you got started.
No, I hadn't. Hayley, you got me to download it a couple of weeks ago on my Mac at home.
Yeah,
How long
which
did you have the machine for?
Which I did, at least 2 years.
John.
So I downloaded the software and it was really, really easy.
Okay.
But I think the best thing I had this morning was I brought my MacBook with me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hadn't downloaded the software on this.
Yes.
And between Hayley saying to me, have you downloaded it on your laptop? And me going back to the green room, Sam had got it 3/4 of the way downloaded.
Yeah.
It's that quick and that easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really genuinely is. For anyone who's not technically minded, I was really shocked.
And
Yeah.
it works PC and Mac. I know Mac's
Yes.
really
It does,
important
yeah.
because that's all you really work with.
That's all I work with completely. So,
Okay.
but the fact is that I could get it down on that. And in this building, which we all know here doesn't have the best Wi-Fi.
It doesn't. We're in a little village. Well,
No.
it's a town, isn't it? But yeah.
Yeah. It was down in about 20 minutes. It was done. It was registered. Because I'd logged it on before, I was able to log in with my username and password and get all the software and get using it. And this was about 12:30 today.
Wow.
Because I'd not thought to put it on that because I don't. But that's how easy it is. It's brilliant.
Now this is important. Now Hayley said something, and I've got a lot of admiration. I'm not just saying because you're doing Craftalong. I've got a lot of admiration for you as a crafter,
Thank you.
and genuinely, and also of course for you, John. But Hayley said something in our meeting. What we're going to do this hour, we're going to focus on the software because you were saying people have spent. If you have purchased this machine, you spent close to £1,000, and you really want to help people get to grips with the software. So
Exactly, yeah.
stick with us. If you've got any questions, please get in touch. But what Hayley wants to show is, and John's going to be doing this, show the software is nothing to be scared about. It's like anything, once you start doing it, you realise it's not so scary.
And quite often when I've been at exhibitions and you've seen a machine stitching out in the hoop, people will walk past and they'll kind of mutter, oh, that's cheating. I will show you this is not cheating because it still needs you to go into that programme to come up with the idea, to come up with the concept, to come up with the colours. There is no cheating in this at all.
No.
Full personalisation. Right, where do we start?
So what you need to do is you need to download the software to start with. Now, if you've invested in your machine, you'll have a sheet that will explain to you, and I've included one with your Craftalong as well. And there are a series of different videos on YouTube from the Husqvarna Viking channel that you can actually follow. I've got links to those on my Facebook page, and it's really easy to do so. John's done it, and we are not covering the actual download here because it does take time to do that, and I didn't want you to have a 2-hour Craftalong and half of that hour watching a progress bar go through the different elements. So once you've done that, you'll have the software on your computer and you will have a shortcut on your desktop, which basically when you turn your computer on, that's your desktop area, you will see, and it will see on your actual screen. So I don't know, are we able to bring up the screen at this stage?
Yeah, sure,
okay. So you will see in the top left-hand corner over here, we have got Premiere Plus 2, which is the latest version of the software. That will appear on your computer desktop. Double click on there and it will open up a folder. And in there you will see that you've got Premiere Plus 2 embroidery. You've also got Configure. Now, it's important that you make sure that you've got all the elements of the software there. So click on Configure and then you can check installation. Now, I don't know if John's working alongside. Are you doing it the same? I don't know whether you are or not. We're not watching you. You can if you want to.
You only have to,
it's slightly
you only have to do this once?
You only need to do it once. You will find as time goes on there are going to be updates, but we'll check about that, speak about that in a few moments. So check installation, and we are looking at Embroidery Intro. That's the software that you are getting, and then you'll see check. Just click on there, and then you'll see you've got little ticks. Everything is installed beautifully. So we're good to go.
Okay.
as time goes on, you might want to check to see if there's a smart update. You just need to make sure that you're on the internet to do that. And I think it automatically does it each time you open the software.
It will prompt you. So what Hayley's showing now is you literally, once you've set up your machine, you just do this just to check it's set up, and you never have to really do that again.
That's it. Now, the first time you do need to kind of do your activation, which you can see there, and you click on there, and that's when it takes you to the Husqvarna Viking website. Now, John, you did this quite recently.
Yes.
It's easy to work through.
Really, really easy. It literally asked me for my activation code,
which you'll get with your machine.
Yeah, my email address and a password.
That's it.
And that was it. Once I put all that in, it went, yep, fine, you're okay to go. And I just opened it up, and I mean, I've got the password saved because I don't remember passwords. So it is saved in my computer.
You can get it sent back through to you, so don't worry.
This morning, because we changed computers, we had forgotten.
Okay,
you forgot 1, 2, 3, 4.
No. I was nearly said it then as well. I'm not going to say it. But I actually clicked the forgotten password, and almost instantaneously there was an email.
It's all automated.
That said, here's your password, copied it, pasted it in, and it opened.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
So, yeah, the service on that, I was like, sometimes you wait hours when you forgot the password. Right. You do wait hours. It was there instant. It was brilliant.
Great.
And I'm here to help out along the way as well. So if you do want to message me or email me, you can do.
Okay.
And as I said, in this hour, if you've got any questions to ask, by all means, get in touch. And also perhaps from John as well, because he's experienced what you might be about to experience if you've invested in this.
So we've loaded our software, we've checked it's all installed properly. What would we do now?
Okay, well, the screen that we were looking at there, of course, we went into configure a few moments ago. You've got guides and learning centre. These will take you off onto the internet, onto the Husqvarna Viking website to help you with loads of different areas of learning. But the one that says embroidery is where you can click on that one and it will open up the software. Now, if you've worked with any design program previously, you will see a lot of things that are very similar, especially if you've done anything like word processing, if you've sent an email. A lot of the layout is something that will look familiar to you. It's not completely alien.
I'm not going to lie to you both. I'm a little bit excited. Once that came up, now we're getting into it. This is where it really starts to get interesting.
And this is where you become the designer, because what we put into that hoop, or what you put into the hoop, is your design, and that's when it gets exciting, because you can make it into whatever you like. Down at the front here, we've got a few things that I've created using an embroidery machine before.
You had a very busy show earlier on, by the way.
We did, yeah, with the Yazzie bags.
Yeah, but look at this. This is incredible.
So things like the flowers, these were what they call raw applique, so they've got rough edges to them. The letter H in the centre there, I actually designed that font, that applique font, and I will show you how to do that in a few moments. On Phoebe's little art bag, you can see at the front there, again, I created that, I put that design together, and it's one of those things that you can have the scope to do so much with this software.
And that is amazing.
Yeah, well,
so wait, you did that?
I did that, yeah.
Now, can you imagine how much you'd pay for a personalised bag, like that embroidered detail? You know, I was commenting to John that I really like your shirts. So could you then, say John's wearing a very snazzy shirt, could you put your own motif, embroidered motif on there?
Yeah.
That's what I will be doing when we get home tonight.
It'll be on everything.
I'm going to put the John Next Door logo on my shirts. So I know which ones to wear for work, and so I can actually delineate my wardrobe.
But you could save yourself a fortune in that, because getting getting clothes embroidered can be quite a costly affair. Think about hen do or something like that. Yeah.
Or freshening up, because we've all got clothes, maybe fallen out of love with them. You can totally you can become your own fashion designer.
Can indeed. You can. Okay, so we've got our work area now, so you can see our hoop. Now, this is the hoop that comes with the machine, but you can change the size of that hoop if you're wanting to. You can actually make it portrait, or you can rotate it as its landscape if you're wanting to. But we're going to go for that portrait there, and you've got lots of different hoops. So if you do invest in any smaller hoops as time goes on, you can change that hoop. But we're going to stick with the one that we've got on the screen there. Now, we need to bring in Sam, the jelly baby. Now, if you've downloaded this already, you might not have done anything with it. It will probably still be sitting in your download folder. So if you go up to the top left-hand corner, you will see that you've got a little kind of folder, and you can see you can use your keyboard if you're wanting to access this. So it would be Control and I if you're wanting to insert. I'm a bit of a mouse clicky kind of girl, so it's personal preference. And you can see that as you hover over all of these different icons, it explains to you exactly what these are going to do for you and how they are going to help. So you can see very familiar to things like word processing that you might have on your computer, or spreadsheets and things like that. So nothing scary at all.
So Hayley, just I'm conscious of the fact some people are purchasing the Craftalong today,
Yes.
and then obviously once it arrives, they'll join us. For the free download of Sam, where do we do that? Where do we
If
get
you go to my blog, handmadebyhayley.tv, there's a blog there, you can download it. I think John's going to have it available on his website as well.
I'll put a link onto my crafting with
and
John next door.
I think I've already put it on Facebook as well. So, or email me, I'll just send it to you. It's
It
not a
is
problem.
worth following both of you on social media. Forget the down, just to follow you guys, because you're really good at what you post.
We've been chatting about embroidery and designs and things.
We have,
I think there might be something bubbling away under the surface here as well.
Ooh, all right.
There you go.
Okay, your tease.
So when you download anything onto your computer, it tends to default and go to a download folder.
Yep.
So you can see on the left-hand side there, we've got different folders on this one. I'm working on Windows. I'm not sure, how does it appear on a Mac?
On a Mac, you go to the file at the top, and it's the same again. It's Command and I.
Okay.
And I just go to Insert.
Right.
Brings up a window the same.
Yeah.
So I move that around slightly.
Oh, there,
Oh, no, that's going to shine it. And it goes, there's my Craftalong Sam.
Okay.
And I just double-click him, and there he pops up.
Oh, what? So you literally just click on it and it goes straight into the program?
You're stealing my thunder here,
Sorry.
John. You've done that before I've even had a chance.
But you showed me earlier. I
I'm
learned
supposed to be
something.
teaching here, if you don't mind.
It shows how easy it is.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to double click on there. Now what I could do is actually put this and save it onto a USB stick from that download folder if I wanted to. But on this occasion, I want to add to this design.
Okay.
So we've got Sam there, as you can see. Now, over on the right-hand side, you see that we've got lots of information here about our little Sam image that we've got. So you can see, first of all, we've got two different colour threads. So as I hover over that, over the blue, can you see how it's changing in the hoop? So there you go, it's blue at the moment. If I hover over the blue, then it's highlighting, so I can see that that's going to stitch out in blue thread.
So when you hover over the colour, it highlights where that colour is going to be embroidered.
Now these are for indication purposes only. But you can get an idea of what it's going to look like if you wanted to change the colour. So again, I could double click on the blue. It will bring up lots of other colour threads, and it might be that I want to get an idea of what it would look like if I was to use a green thread. So I can do that, and I can see exactly what it looked like. Okay. So it's just to kind of give you that visualisation. Now the other thing is, when we're actually working, and oh yes, you've got an undo button, that's important to mention. Up at the top there, you have got undo, so you can revert back step by step.
Nice.
Now, you can see we've got a box around Sam at the moment, and in the corners you've got white little boxes. These are kind of known as handles, and I think that's in graphics programs and all sorts as well. Now, in there, you can see we've got them white. If we go back over by where we've got the colours of the threads, in the top corner, you can see a number. Now, on this occasion, it's 3,816. That's the number of stitches in that design. Right. Okay, but if I kind of want to resize that, which I can do, all I need to do is click on one of the corners, hold down my Control tab, and I can resize that, and everything is in proportion. Okay, so I could make my Sam very, very small. And then over on the side, we've actually got the dimensions. So now he's only 2 centimetres wide and 3.5 centimetres roughly tall.
Are you still having the same stitches? You know?
Same stitches. So what do you imagine will happen with that?
It'll be really tight.
It's going to be very dense because you've got the same number of stitches. Equally so, if I decided to make that design bigger, to make it as large as I wanted, then you will see that those stitches are staying the same. Now, as the design gets bigger, the gaps between those stitches, oh, actually I pressed the wrong button, I pressed shift there. You can see how it's getting what we call scratchy.
Yeah.
He's put a bit of weight on this Sam, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's had a good Christmas.
We'll
Too
put
many
him back on
jelly
the
babies.
diet. So you've still got the same number of stitches, but it's opened it up. It's making it scratchy. It's making it look a little bit messy. Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to resize rather than make it to whatever size we like. So the way we do that is we've got an icon there that says resize. And as you see, hover across it, it will tell you exactly what you need to know, and it's going to retain that constant density, which gives you the professional look.
Right.
Click on there, and then you'll notice that those little white squares on the corners become blue.
Right.
So that means now, if I make it smaller, so again, make it, how rude, make Sam smaller. Yeah. Now you can have a look, you'll see that those stitches have changed. So now we've got 3,118 stitches, whereas if I click on the corner and drag him out and make him larger, we've still got the density, but we've got over 6,000 stitches in there.
That's excellent.
So that is important to keep that quality.
I'm so glad you showed that, because I would have been, if you hadn't explained all of this, hadn't read the instructions, you would make it bigger, but you wouldn't have thought to have changed the stitch.
And it's not until you start stitching out that you realise, and then it's a bit late because you've potentially used your best fabric.
Well, I want to put the little Sam on my pocket. Yeah. So I would have shrunk it down to put it there. But of course, as soon as I put a shirt in, and you know, I'm not the sort of person, I won't get a piece of fabric and test it out first. I will bang in what I want to do it on.
Yeah.
Go for it.
And if you hadn't told me that earlier, I know I'd have ended up with just a load,
like
but basically a hole.
Yeah.
Because it would have stitched that much on it. So that was genius to me. That's what I needed to know.
John,
That's just one element.
The next time you're on, John Next Door,
I'm going to have to have.
I want to see the logo on your shirt, okay?
Right.
I'm holding you to that.
So that's how you resize. Now, there's lots and lots that you're going to be able to learn from this, and there is a YouTube channel, Husqvarna Viking, dedicated to the Jade 35. That's going to give you lots and lots of information. You've got handles around here, so things like I could rotate, as we can see, get them doing somersaults there. Also, you've got these little triangles, which mean you can click on that and actually flip that design if you're wanting to. It's pretty symmetrical, but if I click on there, you can actually flip him side to side there.
Okay.
So he's changing it a little bit there. So all of those are there for you to play around with as well. Now, let's make him back to pretty much sitting central in that hoop. So I'm going to bring him down to about so big and move him to the centre like so. And that central point there, in like his tummy button, is the middle of the design. Okay. You can actually move that round. So this is if you wanted to kind of rotate him almost like you're sticking a drawing pin in that point and move him like so. So when you come into positioning your elements, you can do.
So you can make a pinwheel effect with Sam?
Pretty much so, yeah. Yeah, play around with that. Equally so, if you're wanting to kind of, what else was I going to say? Rotate it a specific amount. You can see the rotate 45 degrees and so on. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll get him back into the middle of the hoop with his tummy button. So he's all in place. Now, on our book cover, we want to add some personalisation. So we're going to go into the top here where we've got letters. Now, on letters, you will find all sorts of fonts appearing here.
Nice.
Now, there's a lot that are greyed out because we're looking at the introductory software, which you can upgrade if you're wanting to and get lots more features. To be honest, I wouldn't be in a rush to think about that. You've got so much within this software, it's going to keep you busy for ages and ages and ages. You might never ever need to upgrade. Upgrading means that you can digitise your own images, things like that. So, if you're wanting to do that, then obviously you can do your research into that. But if I go to Font Manager, click on there, and it will show all of the fonts that I've got on my computer, and I can turn these into embroidery stitches. So, for instance, it might be that I'm wanting to go for, let's have a little look, one of my quick font, that's what I need to go into first. So, yeah, if I want to change, these are all the embroidery ones already on here, sorry. If I go into quick font, this will allow me to change any of my fonts into embroidery fonts. This is the bit that I was looking for. Now, if I go to, where is it? It is Show Card Gothic. This is one that I like to use a lot, and this is one that I actually used on the front of that bag that we were looking at earlier on. I've got regular, we've got bold, you've got italic. I'm going to stick with regular for now, and then click on next. And this is when we decide what type of stitch we want. Okay?
Right.
Is this okay so far, John?
Yeah,
You're not going too fast for anybody, am I? Is that all right? So in this drop down here, you've got either a satin fill, which is basically a traditional applique stitch, but that will fill the whole of that design in with a satin stitch, like you can see there. You've got your pattern fill. So this could be when you're actually deciding to fill it with stitch detail. Now, this is something I showed you earlier on, John, and you found it amazing. So can I hand this to you, Yanis? So that, I liken that to your paper or card and actually embossing it.
It's like getting an embossing folder and a die together.
That is just green thread.
No,
that is just green thread stitched out.
Isn't that wicked?
That
it really is.
You've created that just with, I can't believe that.
And that is exactly the same H that's featuring on that bag at the front, which I did as an applique on that particular bag.
It looks embossed.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. So the way that you do that is you've got lots of different pattern fills. So the circles, on this one you can see it's kind of stripes, but you go into your stitch options and you've got a whole host of different ones here. So I could have put hearts on there, could have done like a basket weave. We've got smiley faces, cats, dogs, cable twists, there's all sorts in there.
Hayley, can I ask a quick question?
Of course you can.
So is that's not fabric and then you've just had the detail?
No.
Literally all of this is just with thread?
Yeah.
Imagine if you put that on the top. If you were to buy a top with that kind of level of embroidery, you would pay a fortune.
Well, this is it, because it's not stuck in place.
Yeah.
It is something that you've actually got fused. I mean, if you have a look on the underside, you'll see it's actually fused with the stabiliser. It's in place. It is not lifting off like you might have with a T-shirt.
Wow.
You can see around the edges where the green thread has come around the back. That's kind of the natural way that when you're actually doing stitching, you want some of that thread to come around a little bit. Not overly so, but yeah.
I'm so impressed by that.
It's brilliant,
genuinely
isn't it?
blown away by that.
And this is what I would call an entry-level machine. This is the thing that blows my mind.
You've even got little doggies in here.
You've got loads.
You've got loads. This is brilliant. Sorry, I was getting too enthusiastic.
You can spend hours
these
doing
patterns
this.
are beautiful.
Where are the dogs?
Sorry. I want little hearts.
They're in different sections. So you've got things like waves, you've got, I think you just look at the different sections that you've got there. Squares, a variety of different squares, rope and chains, polygons, plants.
So these are all our fills?
These are all fills.
Okay, and I hope you're exploring your machine with us live right now. So if you've got your software to hand.
Definitely. Okay. Now, for instance, let's have a little look at, let's change it to arrows. Okay, so we've got arrows there, vertical arrows. Yeah. But say if I want them to go to the left or the right, well, I can do that because I can rotate it to wherever I want it to go. So I can change that angle there. So I could make that, I don't know, 45 degrees. Okay, and then just click on that and it will actually change the kind of the rotation of it. So you can see they're vertical there. If I click on OK, we will get a preview of them, but they will go off to the side there. I've rotated it 45 degrees, so they've kind of gone up at an angle. It's quite a small repeat, that. I'm going to change it actually to the stripes, because I think it's a little bit easier to see with the stripes. So if I change that to that one there, OK. So if that angle is set to 0, that's kind of the factory settings. Click on OK, and you'll see that it's vertical. Is that, that's looking OK, isn't it, on the screen there? Okay. Or do we need it a bit chunkier? Should we go a bit chunkier, just to chunky? There we go. Okay, that's better. So you can see that they're vertical. If I wanted them to go off to the side, then I just change that angle, and you can increase it literally degree by degree if you wanted to. Or you could make it, and you'll see there that the little kind of triangle there will show you the angle that it's changing to. So I could change that to 45 degrees if I wanted to. Click on OK, and rather than being vertical, they're diagonal. So again, lots and lots of scope. If I want to get an idea of what it looks like in a different colour, change the thread colour to whatever you want, Hochanda pink. There you go, and again it gives you an idea. So there's lots of scope. We've not stitched to stitch, we've not wasted any fabric, we've not used any threads. We're still experimenting and planning.
Versatility, and that's what I know you're so conscious to demonstrate to everyone.
That's it. Got applique as well, so that exact same font I can turn into an applique font. So on this occasion, that fabric is pink and the stitching is blue. It might be that I've got green fabric. What would it look like if I changed the fabric to green? Well, I can do that. I can change the colour of that fabric. Okay, there we go. And it gives me an idea of what it's going to look like. You can change the thickness of that satin stitch. You've just got so much scope. And then when you're ready, you just click on Next, and it will allow you to generate that font and give it a name. So now I could call that, it might be something that I use on hen T-shirts, or I keep saying hen shirts, can't think of any other occasion.
Stag.
Stag. That's not very original, is it? It could be a birthday, it could be whatever anniversary. It could be that you're doing something bespoke and taking orders for it. You can have it programmed up, so when that order form comes through, all you've got to do is change the words. Makes it easy.
Can I ask a question,
Of course you can.
Hayley? So if I created a font like that, and it's from one of the standard fonts in my computer, I'm all right to make those, and can I sell those once I've made them?
Yeah, because you've made that. The only time that you need to be careful, and it's a good point actually mentioning that, there's lots of websites out there where you can buy fonts, you can install fonts. You need to make sure that you've got the right license, because you'll need to check with whoever has created that font. There's lots of free ones out there. There's also some called dingbats.
Now you're telling me about this. This is actually very cool.
These are fabulous. Now these are when you go to a website and they do the dingbat. It's not a new thing, they've been going for some time, but when it's almost like a code, and we have got a dingbat mentioned on here as well. So if we go into quick font again, and I look down at the bottom here, you've got somewhere, you've got kind of icons. Can you see down at the bottom here? Yeah. Just about, you can see you've got kind of like squiggly images. Well, for instance, one of these ones, let's go for that one because you've got horoscopes on there. Click on there. And this is a dingbat font, but if you were to press the letter A or the letter B, you get one of these icons pop up. And you can actually print off a sheet to go alongside it. So it's almost like a code. Yeah. So I'm going to click on Next. And it might be that I'm going to go for applique. So I like the idea of doing, I think that's the Cancerian image there. So that is something that I would like. So I can click on Next there, and that will generate that as a font as well. Okay. So it might be that I'm thinking to myself, right, I mean, that's the name of that font, but I'm going to change it to Zodiac just for my reference. I think that's right. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah. And then click on Finish. And that is generating all of these images that you've got in this. I hope there aren't any naughty ones. I better finish there, hadn't I? Finish, just to be on the safe side. And then that has generated and created that font, which if I go back into my fonts up here, and in my fonts, you will see that that has been created as Zodiac, all ready to use. And if I put the letter A in there and click Apply, you will see I have actually got an applique version of the Cancerian sign.
That's very clever. Very clever. I mean, you've got so much scope to personalise with this. Do you know what I think would be nice as well during this craft along? If you are currently exploring with us your own Husqvarna Viking J35, what about we get some pickies?
I'd love to see photos if you've been creative with it, definitely.
Either anything you've made, or even if it's just of your machine or you with your machine, learning along with us. This would be nice. That's the whole point of these hours.
Exactly. And if you've got any questions, I can't emphasise enough. Take advantage of myself and John being here and kind of. Well, you've only very recently kind of got into this stage.
Genuinely, probably in the last week is when I've actually started thinking, right, I need to get to grips with it. Yeah. I've spent no time on it. Yeah. It is genuinely that easy.
You picked up very quickly.
You do, and I love this, But I'll try and answer any questions.
You can get in touch, studio@hochanda.com. We love hearing from you.
So back to our book design. So we've sorted out our applique design. We've brought Sam into our hoop. We're working with him. We need to add that text now. Okay. Now, as a standard font within your programme, and if you're working alongside us, you'll be able to find this one in there. It's called Kids. So if you go into your drop down here in the top left-hand corner, click on there, and you'll see that under the children's section, you've got one that's called Kids.
Nice. It's a fun alphabet.
Okay, so click on there. I like this one because it's very kind of hand scripted. It's not dissimilar to your own font.
Yeah, it's a hand drawn one. Yeah. I really liked it. It's not that comic one that everyone uses.
Yes, yeah.
I really dislike. It's fun.
Yes.
And it's kiddie as well. I think it's great.
Nice and easy. So now we need to decide what we're wanting to put on our first line of our software, of our design. So it could be, well, you just type whatever you like in there. So I'm going to put Hayley's. Yeah. Oops, try again if I spell it right. Hayley's little book. Now you can have double lines on these if you wanted to, but I'm just going to have it as a single line. And then over to the side here, you've got horizontal, which if I click on apply, you will see it will just come in as a horizontal line, like so. Okay. Right. If I click on vertical and apply, it will come in with the lettering vertically. Okay. But what I actually want to do is have it as an arc going over the top. So I'm just going to get rid of those, just clicking on them and deleting. Yeah. And go for the arc and then apply. So there you go, Hayley's little book.
Now there's a circle there, so it wraps around the circle.
It is, so that circle allows you to position where or how closely it comes to your design. Okay. All you need to do is make sure that anything that you are creating in the Craftalong stays within that grid line that you've got there. Yeah. Obviously, if you've got a longer name, then you might need to make the font a little bit smaller. But the beauty is, where you've got that little kind of green square, you can use that to move that around the circle. Oh. Like so.
That's cool.
Or bring it in, or take it out. like so.
Lovely.
So I'm going to sit that probably about there, I think.
Okay.
In fact, I might make that font a little bit bigger. I think I'm going to make it about 15. So I've gone back up into the top there. So I've got Hayley's little book, and I'm going to change that to 15. Press on apply, and you can see that it has made it slightly larger. So I'm going to bring that down. Now I want to get rid of this one here, but I'm clicking on Hayley's little book, the smaller version. I'm not selecting it. If you press the tab on your keypad, your keyboard, it will go through each of those elements as you've added them to your design.
It's like layers.
It is, yeah. So I can just take that one out and then bring in that, and when I've got the little kind of cross hatch, I can bring that down and sit it around my little Sam.
Lovely.
Again, if I want to make my Sam bigger, I can click on the tab, and then I can basically make him a little bit larger if I'm wanting to.
And we said when you make him bigger, we have to ensure you've got the blue boxes, so you're resizing. Yeah. That's it.
Once you've done that the first time, and you've still got that highlighted in that home page, it will resize automatically.
Brilliant.
So it's a good habit to get into. As soon as you start your project, click on resize, and it'll allow you to do that.
I've just noticed that when I click back on him, the boxes were blue.
Okay, that's it, rather than being white originally.
Pressing it. I'd already said I was going to resize it.
Yeah.
That's clever.
It remembers it. So,
yeah.
There you go. John next door.
You're doing very well.
That looks good.
Okay.
Like that a lot.
So hopefully you're at this stage right now, because remember the whole point of the Craftalong is we're hoping a few of you at home, or a lot of you, are crafting along with us. So right now we should have Sam, our design, in the centre, and then obviously whoever book you're making it for.
So are you going to add any text underneath, John? You're going to
I'm going to put design journal.
Okay, that's a nice idea.
The two things I have to do is journal, Journal?
I think it is.
Because everyone knows I can't spell.
Okay.
I think it is.
Having launched the faceted cracker last week rather than the faceted.
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, bless you.
So, so I'm going to put design journal at the bottom. So I type that in letters,
Yeah, that's it.
And then I want to change that shape.
That's it. You don't want it to be in kind of like a bridge-like arc. You need it to go underneath. If that's the way you want to design it, it's your design. You do it exactly how you like.
I'll go for that one, Yeah.
And
then apply,
That's right. And as soon as you press apply, it's there.
That looks great. John, that looks really good. I love the big smile on your face right now.
Yeah, I'm genuinely impressed. I like that. It is, to me, having, sometimes you feel like you're overplaying it. But, as Hayley knows, this has moved house with me twice.
And you've made was that why you keep making the blinds?
Yeah, that's what the blinds were made for, was for the new house. And I haven't used it to suddenly be able to sit down and somebody slowly go through it, because I know on this sort of thing you can't. But someone just take me through this bit. To me, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I could bring in that daisy and I could do. This has got me thinking. Yeah, I actually find I've got some value for him.
Well, this is the thing. We're investing a lot of money in this machine and the software. This is why you need to get as much as you can out of it, and that's what this Craftalong's all about. I hope it's something that you enjoy. Even if you've not got the machine, hopefully we're kind of educating you and making you understand why these are such brilliant machines to work with.
Sitting here listening to you, actually listening to you both, you're explaining it so well.
Thank you.
And already, and I don't have the machine, but I feel now I've come to grips, if I did have the machine, we've talked about importing different fonts, importing images, how you can manipulate the images, how you can wrap text around, how we can add infill, the sheer volume of versatility, changing the thread. But it's all very achievable.
It is, yeah. And what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of lock that design in, because in the next hour we're going to start stitching it out, and then we'll work on some other bits and pieces.
Fantastic.
So at the moment we've got kind of 3 different embroideries. So for here I've got Hayley's little book being one embroidery, we've got Sam in the middle being a second embroidery, and we've got of creativity being the third. Now if I want to resize that, I'm going to have to go through each one of those and resize them. But what I can do is I can kind of weld them all together, group them together, which is probably a term that you may have experienced if you've worked with design programs before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my home page, as you can see there, which is the one that we started off with, and I'm going to do, well, it's up to you. You can either do a box and select everything, or select everything. So I'm just going to click on that box, and I'm just going to literally draw a box around everything there, and you'll notice that little boxes will appear around the elements. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is go to combine at the top there, and that will merge all of those embroideries so they're all one piece. Combine all. So that now means that, now John, what do we need to do? Look at that image on the screen there. What can you spot that we might need to do before we go resizing again?
We're going to need to get the blue boxes round
Exactly. You'll notice on the corners they've gone white
Very
again now
good,
because
John.
we're looking at a brand new embroidery that we've created. So again, go to resize. Those tabs will turn blue, and that means that you can resize that if you're wanting to, and everything will resize at the same scale.
Hayley, could you very, very quickly, could you show us from home again how you'd group that?
Yeah,
Only
sure.
'cause I missed it.
I'm going to click undo there because that will take it back. There you go. As you can see, oops, I went a bit too far. There we go. So you can see there, I'm going to move that down a little bit lower. So go to your home page, okay, or your home screen.
Yeah.
You can either do a box select, or you can select all. This time I'll do select all rather than draw the box. Select all, and you'll see it does exactly the same.
See, I'd be inclined to just every time just go select all because then it's all covered.
Well, sometimes you might only want to resize the lettering. Sometimes you might only want to resize the jelly baby.
Gotcha.
So you've got scope there. And then if you combine, that is now locking everything into one design now. So if I want to resize now, then I can just literally move that and resize it like so.
It's all locked in. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay.
I've got that. Would you advise saving as we go? Or not?
It's up to you. I mean, it will always save within the software, so if you want to revisit it, you can come back to it. So, for instance, you can go File, Save As, and you can save it anywhere on your computer.
Okay.
It's only when you come to export that everything is locked in together, so you can't change anything.
Okay.
So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take that design and we need to get it onto our machine. So the way that we do that is we need to put it on the USB stick. Now, you do get a little USB stick come with it. So your little USB stick is this here, and it does look a little bit strange because John thought he'd broken his. But it is just a little mini USB stick.
Okay.
Don't be tempted to change this and use one that's got like millions and millions of gigabytes on there because it's too complicated. You need to keep it simple. This is an embroidery machine. It's not a computer that it's going into. So we're keeping it simple for the machine's sake, really.
Okay.
So you can pick these up, 2 gigabytes, which is hardly anything, but the files are so small. And that just needs to go into your USB drive on your tablet.
Sliding it in,
Yes, I'm just going to, excuse me, I'll just hang off the chair while I do it. Didn't think about that. Pop that in there. Then we're going to go back to the software. And on the software, what you need to do is just go up to File and then Export. Now, it's telling me there that it's not in the hoop, so, is it that little design there? Let me just have a little look. I'm just going to zoom out just in case, So let me just bring it and make it just a little bit smaller. So box select all, and then I'm just going to make sure that we resize everything in proportion and just make it just that tiny bit smaller because it's overhanging, just a smidgen. Okay. Now, if I want to align it, I can actually align it and centre it in the hoop so everything is sitting perfect in the hoop there as well.
It's nice that the program does tell you if something's outside the hoop.
That's it. So again, we're going to go up to File, we're going to go to Export, and this is where it goes through the different options. Now, dependent on your machine that you've got, you may need to save it in a different file format if you are using it alongside a brother machine or anything like that. But pretty much a universal language for your embroidery files are VP3s. It's a bit like JPEGs and things like that with your photos. It's something that pretty much every embroidery machine will understand. Click on OK, and then it'll ask you where do you want to save it. And mine's automatically defaulted to my USB stick. So all I'm going to type in there and put book cover. You can call it whatever you like. It's your reference for that. And then when you're happy with that, all you need to do is click on Export, and that will now be saved on my USB stick. And then I can put that onto the machine in the beginning of the next hour.
Incredible.
So if I go to there.
I hope everybody's at this stage right now. So we've got to the point where we've imported our design of Sam. We've added our text that's personal to you, so you can write whatever you want along there. And then we've exported it, and we're going to be embroidering next hour.
This is it. And you've got your comprehensive guides with these. So you've got your instruction manual that's going to go through all the technical bits of the sewing machine, but that's what we're going to be looking at in the next hour. We've got our design now, we're ready to stitch it out.
Do you have any questions? Now, it doesn't have to be. The whole point of the craft along is we'd love it if you're obviously crafting along with us, and a lot of you are. But even if you just have the machine, like John, and you've used it in its basic capacity, but you really want to see the potential and go further, sort of grow with the machine. Any questions whatsoever? We've got Hayley, we've got John. We'd love to hear from you, studio@hochanda.com. How are you getting on? You enjoying it, John?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this.
Okay.
Good.
Is it all okay?
It seems very, very logical and natural.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too complicated or scary. I was so scared with download software, here's a USB, read the instruction book, you need to press this button, you need to press that, no.
Yeah.
And then just too simple.
But
this
no,
is just taking it really easy for me. I couldn't, I was excited about the machine when I bought it, and then I kind of lost that, and I just sewed with it, and that's it. Now I've got it back, and I'm just thinking, I wish I lived closer, so that when I finish this, I can actually literally, because this is my machine, I've brought it.
You have, yeah.
You know, this is, you can see from the dust on the top.
Yeah, you could write your name in that.
Yeah, you could, genuinely. I want to take it home, I want to get it out, and I want to get shirts in there and my tops in there.
That's where I get my excitement from, because I don't want anybody, for anything that you buy on Hochanda, I don't want you to buy something and then wish that you hadn't, or feel deflated. After you've been so excited, to then think to yourself, and those shoulders come down. I want you to be excited and think, I can do this, I can do that, I can do the other. That's what it's all about.
It's like anything, that once you've done it, once you've got over that fear factor, then it becomes second nature. So you'll be exploring different features, you'll be adding your infills, finding different fonts, playing around. What we're going to do, we're going to jump on the website. We will be continuing with our craft along. Now, we've got lots on our website. Ooh. Now, Madeira, classic threads in there, so your rayon threads, so $26.99, good savings, different options. Have a look on the website, but obviously thread's one thing. Once you start playing with your Husqvarna Viking Jade 35, you're going to want to stock up on your thread and really start playing around. So have a look. We've got good savings on quality Madeira threads, so you know the quality that you're getting there. We've got Super Twist thread in the mix. You've got your metallic smooth threads. Oh, a bit of metallic detail with some embroidery. Imagine that on a project. Oh. Okay, so do have a look on our website. We will be continuing with the craft along, but I'm going to be really quick here. So the point of a craft along is that this isn't a sales hour, but we just got to, for the benefit of anyone who might have just tuned in, you've still got the option to get hold of this bundle. I'm going to be really quick here, but can I just say value for money in what you're getting? So I was speaking to John. The whole point of this craft along was Hayley and John, they were chatting, and John had his his Husqvarna Viking Jade 35. He'd made 2 blinds and 1 cushion with it. He's had it 2 years, and all he used was a straight stitch. So Hayley said to him, let's do a craft along, and I'll help you explore your machine. When John purchased his machine, it was £1,400. And actually, if you go online right now, and please do this, if you've got your phone to hand, or if you've got a tablet, do this. Just type in Husqvarna Viking Jade 35 and see how much they are. Just for the machine alone, we've seen them selling for $1,400, $1,300, different price. I think we did see $999, but can I just draw your attention to our price? $899.98. But here's the thing with the Hochanda. Today, for the price of £449.99, that's your first flexi payment. We send it out to you. But we're not just giving you the machine, because you're also getting, I think it's a bundle, the add-ons Husqvarna had thrown in. It's worth around about £88 on top of that. So look, you're getting the Husqvarna Viking Jade 35. This machine is incredible. I'm conscious of the fact I want to get back to the craft along, but can I just break this down for you? And Hayley was explaining it. As a sewing machine, if you were to get a sewing machine with these features, it would be around about the £600 mark. If you were to get a separate machine that was an embroidery machine I should say, that would be around about the £600 to £800 mark. Let's say, I'll lowball it, let's say £600. So for the features, to have a sewing machine with this feature, an embroidery machine with this feature, you're looking at $1,400. where the Husqvarna Viking J35 excels, you saw the hoop, because a lot of embroidery machines, the hoop is very, very small. Here, it's an A4 hoop, so you've got a good size hoop in there, and we've got all the add-ons that you're getting as well. And it's the little features, the little touches that we will talk to Hayley and she'll go through it. But if, and I'm speaking to you right now, if you have this machine, I can say, hand on heart, the price is the best price, and I did my research before this show because I want to feel confident in saying it. I could not find a better price for this machine anywhere. And on top of that already great price, you are getting all of the goodies. You're getting the scissors, so the applique scissors. You're getting the other scissors in the mix. I mean, you'd be paying £30 just for those scissors. And you've also got the different stabilizers, the wispy web mesh in there. You've got your tearaway coming through. So you've got all three of the stabilizers, and obviously you're getting, oh, thank you, in there the books. Shana's just handing in. You're going to be getting the Craftalong kit. So you're getting the book in there as well, and you're getting the fabric to do your cover. And this is what, hopefully, at the end of it, you'll be having your own personalised book. But we just wanted to use the Craftalong, and obviously we are restricted by time. We wanted to use this as an opportunity to really help let you explore the potential of the machine, because we know so many of you have invested in this fantastic machine, but maybe you haven't used it to its full potential. I hope you're enjoying this. Just take away from the fact, and please don't think if you're tuned in right now that you've missed out, because what you can do, you can get this machine at this price, and I can't guarantee how long we will have the machine at this price for at Hochanda. Take advantage. But you can purchase a machine, 400, it was sorry, we'll split that through the flexi payment. It was $449.99. So today, $449.99. We send everything out to you, and then what you can do when it arrives, you can go onto our Craftalongs, because we've got a library, and you can watch the 2 hours again and learn with us if you want. Okay, so we're going to get back to our Craftalong right now. Tell you what we'll do. We're going to tell you a little bit about Freedom Membership.
Hello everyone. I've got a minute or two to tell you why you should all be members of Hochanda Freedom. Did you know that with Hochanda Freedom you could be saving on your deliveries every month? For just a £6.97 monthly fee, you will benefit from unlimited standard delivery, which means the more you spend with us, the more you save. And you know the best bit? You can cancel any time. Becoming a member of Hochanda Freedom, you will also be able to take advantage of our exclusive Freedom member discounts, where you can save anything up to 20% on an already fantastic Hochanda price. Freedom members will also receive our exclusive members badge and Freedom newsletter, which will keep you updated with all the goings on behind the scenes. Just look at all these benefits for £6.97 per month. Over 10,000 of you are already members, and we thank you so much for being a part of our family and sharing your crafting passion with us. In fact, I'm now going to hand over to you to tell everyone else about your experience with Hochanda Freedom.
It's lovely because you have the special offers, don't you, that give you a nice discount off, sometimes up to 20%.
I don't have to worry about the postage. I can spend a £5 on something that I've seen as and when I've seen it, or I can spend 20 or 30 or 50 pounds, it doesn't matter.
I get special offers, I get special discounts, they tell me when everything's happening, so if there's a special show I want to watch, then it's there.
Yes, you do save. If you buy like I do, you save.
You see? You could be a member instantly for £6.97 per month with no ongoing monthly obligation. So when you want to cancel, you can. Just give us a call or go to our website quoting the item number 88888. So don't forget, you get your unlimited standard delivery, exclusive Freedom discounts, members badge and a members newsletter. What are you waiting for? Join Hochanda Freedom today and become a member of the growing Hochanda family.
A little bit about freedom. Thank you so much for all your lovely messages. We really hope you're enjoying this show. One thing that Hayley and John were so conscious of is really getting to explore this machine, but we want you to feel a part of it, and that's the whole point of the Craftalong.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's the first time that we've ever done a sewing Craftalong here, and I'm not going to lie that when John first suggested it, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if this is going to work. And I know it's not for everybody, I understand that. We try to bring in the Craftalong at different levels so you can get involved if you want to, at whichever level you like. about. But to be interested to know, would you like more kind of sewing related craft alongs? Not necessarily myself, but the likes of Trisha. We've got fabulous Ali and Stitchy Fingers. So many different people that we could actually bring that could get involved. And I think it'd be nice to have your feedback if you'd like to sew alongside of some of those guests.
I'm going to say, just watching you since this hour, I thought you've been explaining everything so well.
Oh, thank you.
You can see, because obviously you've done a lot of teaching.
Well, yeah, that was my job before I actually took the presenter job.
It really does. Now, we've had some lovely messages, so is it okay if I read a couple of these out? This is a good one. I'm going to start here only because it's a question from, and this our call centre passed this through. So a customer just rang and said that she's got the basic software which she purchased from the last show, fantastic, but she's saying on the home page everything's greyed out, so she's not able to access anything. Can you please help? Okay, now you should be able to access something. If you've downloaded the free version, and this is my bag, because I must admit, it's not my bag, that's very straight, sorry, my fault. I thought you could actually download a free version of this and work with it. You can't. You can only download, or you can get the free version, but you can't actually use it until you use an activation code, which is with your machine. So there isn't a free version of the software. I thought there was when I went to the website initially, but I've since learnt from that. So yeah, lots of people from they may have done that thinking that they could work alongside it. So I apologise. I did put something up on Facebook to explain that, but if you didn't see it, with your machine, you will get your key, your product key, which John used and went online, and I've used and gone online, and it means that those areas then actually become blue, like when we've been working with the software here. So it needs to be activated. You might be able to buy, and I think you can buy the intro software as a standalone item. You need to. We don't have it here at Hochanda, but if you contact Husqvarna Viking, they can put you in touch with somebody where you can actually buy that. But to be honest, you're probably looking at a couple of £100. So that's why the bundle that we've got, I know it might not be for you, but this is why it's kind of, anybody that's thinking about getting the software, consider the bigger picture with this, because it is a really good value bundle. When you really do break it down like that, £200 for the software, £88 bundle for the Craftalong, and then you're saying as a machine you'd be paying about £600 for a machine of this quality, a separate embroidery machine, what, about £600 to £800 for that? Yeah, and that would be with a little hoop. You're not talking about a big hoop that you can get your head through. It's a very, very, very good, but probably not mine. Got another we've got another couple of emails. I'm going to get through these really quickly because I know we want to continue our craft long. So one's saying that, hello Yanis, Hayley and John, loving the show. It's amazing. That's from Ali. Oh, Thank you so much. Ali, you need to come and do a craft along. She'd be fabulous doing a craft along. Want that. Another one saying, this is brilliant because this got us all chuckling. So this is from Rosie saying, I just wanted to let you know that I've had a Husqvarna Viking for my 21st birthday. Oh, now I'm 75. Oh. So fair enough. We all thought it was this machine. You're like, John, time warp. It's not this machine. Saying that it's still going strong. It was used such a lot when my daughters were small, i.e. making school dresses and outfits, but not used quite so much now. Of course, it's not such an elaborate machine, but has always done buttonholes and fancy stitching. They are fabulous machines, I have to say. They go on, and that's probably a bit of a prize winner there, I'd say, around 50 years old. So it's a good machine. I'm saying it's a sturdy, reliable sewing machine from Rosie, and thank you so much for that, Rosie. Right, any questions, please get in touch. If you've got, we do know right now, because we can track what's happening, and there are a few machines in basket, so I'm speaking to you right now. What I would say, any questions, you've got Hayley, you've got John here right now, and I know it's a considered purchase. Do your own research, so have a look at other prices out there and you'll realise how competitive ours are. And I do like being able to split that price in half too. Well, it makes it easy, doesn't it? Shall we continue? Yeah, well, at this stage, if you're just joining us, don't forget you can go back and watch that first hour, and the whole craft along will be on YouTube, I believe, so you can watch the whole thing in its entirety, perhaps if you're buying the machine at a later stage. But we have created our design. John's created his own, and he's put it on his little USB stick. USB stick does come with your machine, so make sure you don't lose this. There's a little loop on the end there, so I do suggest you perhaps put a lanyard on it, maybe a piece of ribbon, and then you can attach it to your machine or keep it in the accessory box. So you don't go up to Hayley at the NEC a year after you bought the machine saying,
I've lost the USB, can I have another one, please?
And your
like I had to.
So keep it,
and it's still sat in my wallet, Jen, until this morning.
It's too frightened to lose it again.
Yeah, it's been in the little section of my wallet. Hayley has asked me, every time I've come in,
don't you lose it.
Have you got that still? And I get my wallet out,
it's there.
open it and show her that it's still there.
Still there. Now, we're going to go back to that in a few moments, but before we start stitching out, we need to get our machine ready and we need to get our fabric ready as well, and this is important.
Brilliant.
So, first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure that our machine is okay and ready to stitch. Now, you do this in your regular sewing mode. So, when you get your machine out of the box, it will come with its standard utility foot on, and I think, John, you still got yours on there as well. And this is when it's in sewing machine mode. So I haven't got my embroidery unit attached. I'll do that in a few moments. But at the moment, I've got my regular foot on there. So I've threaded up mine already with some thread, and I've just got a piece of scrap fabric, and all I'm going to do is test it. Now, I have tested it already, so I know it's stitching out okay, but as long as your machine is stitching out okay in sewing mode, it will be fine in embroidery mode because nothing changes. The tension, everything is going to be exactly the same. So if you're having an issue with regards to embroidering something, it's a good idea to go back to sewing machine mode and just make sure that everything is okay. So I've just folded over just a piece of denim here, lightweight denim. I'm going to pop that under the foot on this particular one. I've got my pedal attached, I've got it on a straight stitch, and all I'm going to do is just run through and stitch away. So off it goes. It's doing a little thick stitch there, stitching through like so. Doesn't that sound good? Then it can stop. Another way of checking, it's really nice, yeah. Another good stitch to check as well. I'm just going to cut the threads just above here. You've got a little pair of scissors. If you click on there, that little button, that will actually cut your threads for you. So I don't need my scissors at this stage.
And that's the bit that Sam was really impressed with earlier, because first thing I did when I brought my machine down, it's the one thing I learned from when I used to, because I have sewn. You know, I've sewn since, you know, I'm one of those strange children who had a sewing machine for his 12th birthday.
Awesome, actually.
That makes me
and I made
happy.
little trousers for my Action Man, but God bless my parents for it. But I knew that I needed to check it was still sewing, so I sewed it, and then I went like that. And then Sam went, well, let's cut it off.
Yeah,
it's like, good. Yeah, that's what's even, you know, even for straight stitch, that's what's clever. And it threads itself.
It does. You've got a needle thread on here too.
These are all features that really show, when we talk about this, would be, if you bought a machine of this quality, it would be in the £600 bracket. It's those little features, the amount of stitches that you're getting. Those
especially the scissors. Things like needle threaders, yes, you can get needle threaders on a lower price point machine, but things like the scissors, again, some machines in that price bracket, you wouldn't get the scissor feature on there. So yeah, it's a key thing. Now I've stitched out, you can see on the back there, you've got the results. Look how neat that is. That is absolutely beautiful. I know that that machine is ready to stitch, but just a little bit of inside know-how. When you're testing the machine, I used to find this when I worked with Husqvarna Viking, 2 stitches you use in order to check that you're stitching properly. Straight stitch, fabulous, but then we need something where the machine is going to be moving the fabric and the needle around. So one of the nice ones to go for is something like the herringbone, which on this particular, not herringbone, it's like a honeycomb, should I say there. So stitch number 38 in section number 3, which you've got over here, that is your herringbone. Okay, so in order to find that, we're going to come down to the front of the machine. This is where you've got a comprehensive machine, because you've got something like, well, you've probably got in the region of 100 stitches in this. So that little icon there, click on there, and then I'm going to use my arrows to the side here to go into section number 3. Press OK, and then you've got here, at the moment, you've got number 3 there, and I'm just going to work my way through those stitches. I think you might even be able to go backwards as well.
Can we create our own stitches on this machine?
You can create your own series of stitches, yes. So you could go through and put like a caravan behind a car and things like that.
I remember when we did that show together,
Oops, where am I? 39 I'm wanting, aren't I? There we go, 38, 39. Was it 39? No, it's 38. Sorry, there you go. So you can see you've got your design there. These little buttons here mean you can actually change the size of that. You can make it wider, you can make it narrower. All of that is in the instruction book. We're not going to go through that at the moment, because most people buying this will be buying it because it's an embroidery machine.
Okay.
But all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fabric under there again and just stitch a small section, and you'll notice that the needle will move from side to side on this one. The fabric will move forward and back, and again, it's just one of those standard tests If you're sending your machine in for a service at all, this is one of the standard tests that the engineers will do to check the stitch out on your machine. Now I'm using the same coloured thread, so it'll be tricky to see if there are any issues with it, but I know that it's okay. I'm going to click that, cut those threads again, and again we'll have a little look at the underside to make sure that we're happy with that, and there you go, again. You can see beautiful, no loops, no birds nesting, nothing. So I know that when I put this into embroidery machine mode, it's going to stitch out beautifully.
Fantastic.
Okay, so those are those checks done. Now, what we need to do is actually change the foot that's on there at the moment, because that's your utility foot. That's for your regular sewing, your quilting, different things like that. Yeah. So what we need to do is actually put the embroidery foot in place, which is a bit like a free motion foot. Now, this again can be a bit scary.
This is why I didn't do it earlier. I wanted to watch you do it and do it while we're doing it.
Okay, so now this is something that comes with the machine. We don't have to find it.
Yeah, it comes with the machine automatically. Now, your machine, when you unbox it, will have the utility foot on here. This little foot, you can actually slide this piece out and you'll have things like zipper feet and other feet that you can attach to it. But it's the whole ankle, this whole white part here we need to remove. Now, I'm at a bit of a funny angle, so I'm going to pass that to Yanis. Sometimes I actually turn my machine round as well because I'm right-handed. So all you need to do, there you go, this is why you're here, Yanis, there you go.
That's it, it's my one moment.
You undo that, that screw. You will get a screwdriver within your machine, but if you want to change it to a longer armed screwdriver, you can do. There's not a problem with that at all.
Okay, so all the way off?
That's it, bring that all the way out, and then that will come off. And you can just, once you get to the point where it's finger tight, you can kind of just unscrew it like so, and then take that off altogether. So we're taking the whole of the ankle out. Don't lose that. Okay, because you will need that when you go back to your regular sewing. So it could just go into your embroidery, into your accessory box, just so you know that it's there.
Yeah, definitely I'd defend that.
Also, don't lose that screw, because you're going to need that screw again in a few moments, because we're going to be attaching the embroidery foot. Now, the embroidery foot, you'll see straight away you've got a little hole there, so naturally you would expect that little screw that will need to go through there, and it needs to be attached into the machine as it was before. So another job for you now, Yanis, is it needs to go in. Now you can raise the foot, you've got the little arm there, so if you do need to move it out the way, we can. So just make sure that the needle is out the way as well. Again, we're not doing this at the best angle, but if I lift that up, you'll be able to see that it can kind of drop into there, and then you kind of hook it in place. Okay, and there's that screw. The other thing that you need to make sure of is when the actual bar comes down, that arm that you've got is over the needle bar. So let me move the needle out of the way for you a bit there. Okay. Again, it looks very caggy-handed when you're doing it so close. Is that a phrase? That's okay to say. Caggy-handed. Cat-handed?
I say cat-handed.
Okay. But again, I turn my machine around, I do it from the back. You'll find your own way. It doesn't matter how you put it together, and that is pretty standard. Just need to make sure that it is tight, because when you start stitching, there's going to be a lot of vibrations in this area, and you don't want to find it, say, kind of moving around. But you can see that as that goes up and down, can you see how that arm is lifting up and down because that needle bar is pushing it like so. How are you getting on over there, John? Is that working okay?
Actually, it was. I'm not going to pretend, it was a bit harder than I thought.
Well, they're a bit fiddly. There's not a lot of area there, especially for guys' hands.
Yeah. Not when you've got fat sausage fingers like me.
Yeah, you've got very thick fingers.
But you might find, if you're
I've always called myself sausage hand.
You're full of the compliments today, Yanis.
Just look, you've got very manly hands.
Well, you've got hairy hands, so there we go for throwing around all those different...
Keeps me warm in the winter.
This is the bit that you would sit at home and get a bit of practice with.
But what you can do if you want, John, just while I put the embroidery unit on, if you want to turn the machine around, sometimes I find it easier doing it from the back, because it is, and you'll know this probably yourself with your machine if you've tried putting on a free motion foot. Now, at the moment, it's set up for regular sewing because we've got the accessory box on here, but this all slides off. Now when we actually slide this off completely like so, you can see that is where you've got all your goodies, so you keep them safe in there. But what you've got is your embroidery unit. Now your embroidery unit, I'm going to stand up for this one because it's a little bit tricky to get to. That is going to sit where your accessory box was. So that is going to, this is one of those situations, it's like one of those jokes, isn't it? How many presenters does it take to change a light bulb?
No.
Do you know what? It's because we didn't have this on.
Okay.
If you take that off.
My foot
off. You can say take the embroidery unit off if you want a bit more space.
I thought I was getting ahead of the game.
Hey, there you go.
But this is what people do at home. This is why
it's a lot
Craftalongs are good, because we sometimes everybody makes things seem so easy.
Yeah, okay.
And they're not.
Yeah. Now
So
just
that's a
make
lot
sure it's going,
easier.
it's going over that little needle bar. That's the only thing that you need to make sure of.
There we go.
So now the embroidery unit, which is the larger unit that you've got with your machine, that just needs to go into place because that's what's actually going to keep that hoop in position. Now when you click that in place, you will see the light will go off your machine and it will come back on again because it's turning itself into an embroidery machine now, and you'll notice that your screen looks a little bit different. So it's telling you to make sure you haven't got a hoop on there, then to press OK, press on OK, and what will happen is the arm will move because it calibrates each time. Okay. I can't kind of, should I do, if I turn it off and turn it back on again, you'll be able to see it.
John, don't force that.
You're right over there. You just kind of, sometimes you have to lift it up a little bit, but if I turn mine back on again, you'll be able to see the calibration where it is coming together like so. Let me just help you. If I lift that up a bit.
Oh, that's it. That's what Sam did earlier.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes the feet underneath catch on your table.
Just to say to everyone, when you are changing the foot, where we went wrong over there, do make sure that the embroidery unit is off.
Yes.
It's a lot easier.
Okay, good tip. Never thought of that one. That's why Craftalong's a good idea. So I just turned mine off and turned it back on again, so you can see from a distance now what's going to actually happen. When we press on OK, it's going to calibrate your embroidery unit. So what that means is it's getting it at that the right settings to basically use as an embroidery machine. So click on OK, you'll see it moves and it finds itself in the right position. Okay.
And you get a sense of the quality of the machine, how fluid the movement is. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Very profound. I love that. Now, do you remember our little USB stick? Well, on your USB stick, you've got your design. So we're going to bring our design into the machine now. So on the side of your machine, and I'll try and turn this around to show you, you've got a little USB. Oh, gosh, what was that? Oh, everything's fallen on the floor. Let's move that out of the way. You've got your little USB plug hole.
Yeah,
port, that's the one. And that is going to sit in there. So as soon as you put that in there, it will start to read the information on there. And because you saved it as an embroidery design, it will recognise it. It'll be able to understand what it says. If you've got anything else on there, like JPEGs, like photos or anything like that, it won't convert them into an embroidery design. That's when you have that digitising or you play around with your software. So then if I press on OK, what you will see is it will show you everything that I've got on my stick. Now this is very much personal to you because it will depend on what you've saved on your USB stick. John's will look different to mine, but if I work my way down, you will see that I have got my book cover. Do you remember we saved the designer's book cover? If I press on OK, it will actually show my design in that screen and the machine will get ready to stitch it out. So there you go. There's the design that we created earlier. Obviously, it gives you a rough idea how it looks, and it's automatically putting it into the hoop that we designed it with.
Do we have to change anything on this dial here?
Nothing at all.
Because I know it's set to end. That doesn't make a difference where that is.
That's just on pretty much on normal with that one, yeah.
Right.
That is your foot pressure, which you can mechanically change if you wanted to. I don't tend to mess around with those because it can be how much pressure is on the foot to go on your fabric. But when you're embroidering, you're not using that foot pressure. It's only when you're using a regular sewing foot. And that's kind of if you've got a lighter weight fabric or a heavier weight fabric. It's how much pressure is holding that foot in place.
How are you getting on, John?
How are you doing over there?
Saying my embroidery is too large.
Okay. Now, it might be now your hoop setting. What does it say for your hoop setting? So, top right-hand corner, mine is a little frame and it says 240 by 150.
If I press the hoop button.
Yeah. No, I haven't taught you how to do this.
No.
Are you doing this logically, Mr.
Yes,
Lockwood?
I am.
I say. Okay.
All right.
So, in too large. So, you go into the top, you see this, you've got up here, that little hoop icon.
Yeah.
Click on there. Okay.
I remember we did this on our show.
Right.
Yeah. It's still got the embroidery thing in. So
Right, let me have a look. I can't see from around here. Let's have a quick look. So go into hoop. Okay, come.
Now, this is actually a good
let's
opportunity.
just take this out.
See that you might be having these issues at home. Any questions whatsoever, please get in touch. If you are stuck,
on the
we will try and help
homepage.
you out.
Yeah.
Have we
There you
figured it
go.
out?
Yeah, we have.
What
it was, you have to take it back to kind of the stitch. If I press that, you need to get it back to that.
just so we can
Just turn
see.
that round now.
Right. Yeah.
So this is kind of your blank screen, so to speak.
Right.
So you can see you've got the frame there. So
Yeah.
what you need to do is click on where it's got that frame. And if you say OK now, it will give you, or the arrow to the right, is it? Oh, OK. Oh, do I go up again? OK.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit... Can you turn it off and turn it back on again?
I can.
That technical thing, is it?
Yes.
We'll try that one, because I'm not quite sure why. You might just need to reset it and then we'll do it and have a little look. But yeah, if you go into what I'm trying to get John to do, is where you've got the hoop icon there, you can see how I've got 240 by 150 indicated there. If I click on OK, it gives you all the different hoop sizes. So you can see here, that's where you could put a smaller hoop in place if you needed to, or you would need it on the one that it's on at the moment. But mine's automatically set up like that. And then it says attach correct hoop. How are you getting on there?
Nope.
Is it not having it?
Nope. But that could be me.
Well,
I'll have a look in a second.
Okay, would now be a good time. Literally a couple of minutes, we can just have a recap of the Craftalong while we figure that out.
Yeah,
and
let me
get
just
back
have a
to
little
it.
look and see. Yeah.
Once we, it's the thing with live TV, so when we figured out what's going on, we'll explain to you
I will
what
explain
we've
to
done.
you afterwards.
Just going to jump on the website very, very quickly, have a little look. We've got the threads, the Madeira threads. Look at these. And great saving on here as well. Look, if you've got your machine, you might already have an embroidery machine. Doesn't have to be the Husqvarna Viking, but if you want to invest in quality threads at a great price, we've got some really nice options on our website. So do have a little look and see if any speak to you. I'm going to be really quick here. So what we're going to do, just so we can figure out what's happened with the hoop, we have still got the option to get hold of the Husqvarna Viking Jade 35. I've heard a eureka moment over there. I think they have figured it out. So look, with the machine, what I would say to you, and I'm speaking now to anybody who's got the machine in their basket, I say that because I know we have got viewers with this machine in their basket right now. I fully accept, seriously, I understand that £899 is a considered purchase. But if you've been waiting for the right opportunity to invest in not only a top-of-the-range sewing machine, but combined with that, you get a fantastic embroidery machine as well. It's the options that it affords you. What I would say to you is, right now, if this is in your basket, before you check out, I'd advise you, have a little look online and see how much this is going for elsewhere. And how often do you see people on TV or selling saying, look, don't check out, I want you to do your research. And I genuinely do, because I want you to be happy with your purchase. We've done our research. We've seen this very machine, just the machine by itself, selling for $1,400, $1,300. I think one retailer had it for the cheapest price we could find it, other than ourselves, was $999. But where Hochanda excels is the fact that we give you the flexi payment. So you split the price in half, $499.99. That's your first flexi payment, and then obviously in 4 weeks' time you pay your remaining $449.99. You also are getting the Craftalong bundle. Now you're getting goodies worth £88 on top of that. With the machine, you're getting £200 worth of software. So this is what I wanted to leave you with. If you were to get the software that this machine has, it's £200. If you were to buy a sewing machine of this caliber, it would be, just for the sewing machine features, you'd be paying about £600. If then, and let me just show you, it's the decorative feature options, the fact that you can customize those stitches. So you can create your own stitches in the sense of running stitch. So over here, do you see how you've got the, say, the bike, the caravan, the car? You can create your own stitch. So you can have it where you have the car pulling the caravan with the bike behind. You can genuinely do that. So you've got that, you've got the decorative stitches. This is the thing. This is all I want you to take away from this. The price is the best price I've ever seen it. You're getting a top-of-the-range sewing machine worth £600. You're getting an embroidery machine. If you were to buy an embroidery machine by itself, you'd be looking at around about the £800 mark, say £600 to £800 mark. So already, we're at the £1,400. The software would cost £200, so that's now £1,600. And with all the other goodies that we're throwing in, that's £88 worth on top of that. If you factor that in and see it that way, look at the Hochanda price, $899.98. It's an incredible price. The saving, we're saying £386, but you can save so much more. So have a look. at the machine. Do your own research. But if you have been waiting for the right... Oh, I haven't even talked about the scissors, by the way. I know it's a small part of the bundle, but you're getting the scissors in there. So you're getting both of these scissors in there. And you're also getting, that's the precision cut and the duckbill, and then you're getting the tearaways in here as well, so your stabilizers, all 3 of those. There's 25, I think I'm right in saying 25 feet on the, oh sorry, 10 yards on each, not 25. So 10 yards on each of those. It's a great, genuinely, it is a phenomenal machine. I can't say enough about this machine, and that's what we wanted to do in this Craftalong. We wanted to explore it. We wanted to show its potential. Okay, so we're going to get back to our Craftalong. You know, you can. We've got a library of Craftalongs on our website, so you can always have a little look. Let's see what other Craftalongs we've got on our website. So, oh, there we go. That was the last one with abs. Look at Catherine. There we go. It's, to be fair, it's not the best picture of Catherine, but there you go. She's having fun. Now we have got a Craftalong with Catherine, which was incredible. Actually, all the Craftalongs have been so well received. So have a little look. We've got Barbara Gray, 2 hours Craftalong with Barbara Gray. Come on. Can you imagine how much you pay for a craft class with Barbara? Then we got our Leonie. Oh, that's a nice picture with Leonie. There we go. And then we've got Tando. I remember that, actually. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, so oh, there's one more. There's one with John. I remember it well. So guys, have we got to the bottom of it?
We have. Well, I think I have. Anyway, what I've done is I've taken the USB stick that John was using and I've popped it into my computer, and I think I've got to the bottom of what the issue is. Because if you look, are we able to look at what's on my screen? Can you see how we've got here? And the design is outside of the hoop.
Oh, okay.
Can you see? Yeah. I think that's what the problem is, that little D there as well.
Yeah.
So you can see, even if you move it into the hoop, you've still got bits that are hanging over there.
It was too big.
It was too big. John, you went too large.
Because I've got the wrong hoop setting on my Mac, hadn't I? On my,
it must have been something you were working in a larger hoop
I was
potentially.
working in a larger space,
so
sorry.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to resize that down. So again, press Control, resize it. I've got my blue tabs on there. I'm just going to move that in like so. Then if I do File and Export, okay, you'd set it as VP3, which is correct. You'd already done that. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to replace that book cover. Press Export. We're going to override what's on there previously. Now I'm hoping
that will sort it out.
If I give you that USB stick, if we pop it in with a little bit of luck, with a wing and a prayer, we should be okay.
So the issue is, and it's worth having a look, if you do have these problems and it's saying the design's too big for the hoop, you can check your hoop settings, but if that hasn't rectified it, odds are you might have made your design a little bit too big. Any luck?
You got very quiet.
Yeah.
Is it all right now?
Yes.
Oh, John, you had us worried. You had us worried for a second.
To be fair, this is what I'm sorry. I should apologise to people at home, but this is what it's about. This is the sort of this is what I'm really pleased about, because this is what could happen to you.
Yes. Yeah.
And if this was me at home and I paid this sort of price for a machine, and that didn't do it, I know for a fact that I would slam that down. I would unplug it and I would walk out of the room, and I wouldn't go back to the machine for 6 months.
Okay.
And I know that's just me, but I think we're all a bit like that. If we don't get instant results, we get frustrated. So hopefully everyone at home can see the same.
No, that's fine. I'm glad that you orchestrated that
for
us, John.
No, I didn't.
Now, okay, where were we? Need to get ready to hoop up. So John's got the design now on his machine now ready. So you're going to need your hoop. Now, within your Craftalong kit, obviously your hoop comes with your machine. It's in 2 parts. So you've got your innie and your outie. And what happens is one will sit within the other, and you will use it to hold your fabric in place and stitch out. So to start with, we're going to separate the 2 pieces out. So the piece that says Husqvarna Viking, which hopefully isn't quite as dusty as mine is, goes over to one side. Move that over to the side, and you'll have a piece of stabiliser. Now this is tearaway stabiliser, and the idea behind this is it's going to act as support for your stitches. So you'll get
that in the bundle. You'll have that.
You'll have a piece.
Did you say the hoop alone, just to get that hoop, you're looking at about 60 quid?
Yeah, I mean, if you do your own research, hoops aren't cheap to get hold of. And I've got a ballpark figure. I think it'll probably be around the £60 region for a hoop.
If your machine even does it, because you're saying a lot of embroidery machines, the maximum size of the hoop is a lot smaller.
Yeah, that's right. And they can be quite costly. The larger hoops on the larger machines, you can be talking in excess of £100 for the hoop alone. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, some machines, you're looking at £10,000 for an embroidery machine.
What?
And that's with no software.
£10,000?
They can be.
I know a
They've
lady who spent 5,000 on one.
Yeah, they've got onboard computers, which, but anyway, there we go. I think this is a better package personally. I mean, I'm not, those machines, they've got loads of other features, so don't get me wrong, but I like the idea of being able to design myself, so I'd rather have the software and perhaps a lower spec machine to use the two together. It's a very powerful combination. Anyway, you've got your tearaway stabiliser. We're going to pop that onto our machine, on our hoop, and it's the hoop where you've got that kind of little clip thing. That's your release clip, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. That's going to sit on the top like so, and then you're going to get your fabric. Now, the thing that you've got to bear in mind is your positioning of your little jelly baby. Now, you've got a very generous piece of fabric to cover all eventualities. So on this occasion, we're not going to worry too much, but if you were working on a smaller piece, you just need to bear in mind that you need to have your design similar sort of position to where you're doing it on your book cover. We're not going to worry about that for the time being, but yes, usually you kind of make sure you've got enough fabric to wrap around there and make sure that you've positioned it correctly. But I'm just going to pop my fabric on top. Good idea if you can to give it a little bit of an iron to start with, which I haven't done, but not to worry. And then all I'm going to do is I've got my stabiliser underneath, I've got my fabric on top, and then I'm going to take my hoop and pop it on like so. Open up that release clip because that will release the tension on your hoop, and this is meant to be a quick release clip. It's not meant to be that you're locking your fabric in place, so that should always be relatively loose, because then what you're going to do is you're going to put your fabric in and you push that hoop in and you kind of move your fabric around so it's positioned well, and then that clip will come across, and then you just tighten it, just hand tighten it, just to make sure that you've got it nice and tight there and you've got a good surface there for your stitches to stitch out on.
Lovely.
How you doing over there, John? You all right?
I've never done this before.
Okay.
And I found this
You got
really
enough room
easy.
there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found this so much easier than I thought I would.
Now, obviously, we're working with a large piece of fabric, but if you were working with a smaller piece of fabric, say you were doing a pocket and you'd unpick the pocket because you didn't want to stitch through the pocket and through the shirt, which is something that we'll need to have a chat about.
Yeah, because that's what I do.
Because that's what you do. You wouldn't be able to use your pocket then. You could actually position the pocket on a hooped up piece of stabiliser. You don't have to fill the whole of the hoop with fabric. You can just have it where you need your design, and you will position your design so it sits in the centre of the hoop, and then you know exactly where it is. And talking of which, on your hoop you have got some little markings which I will mention because this is something that's quite important. The halfway point of your hoop is where these horizontal marks meet the vertical marks. Now, you'll notice that the horizontal marks aren't at the halfway point, they kind of drop down a little bit. The reason being is the foot on your machine can't go right to the top of that work area. So to compensate for it, that line is showing you the halfway point, because in reality, the furthest your foot can go and stitch to is probably about that point.
I'm glad you said
Okay.
that. Yeah, it's logical.
That's clever. I wouldn't have thought of that. Yeah.
So always make sure you've got that the right way around, because it will fit in the other way around, but of course the markings are all completely off. So always make sure that Husqvarna Viking in your hoop is the right way around.
Cool.
Not upside down. All right? Yeah, you're fine. He's looking at me going. Now, have you got bobbin thread in the bottom of your machine?
I have,
You
yes.
have, fabulous, that's good. So all we need to do is get some thread in the top. So choose a thread. You've got a nice selection in your Yazzie bag there.
I did purchase the bag earlier. I was so impressed with that show. Ooh.
What colour are you going to go for?
I'm going to go for this silver.
Oh, okay, lovely. Nice silvery grey in
You know
there.
me, I like blues and greys and
That's
those
not
sort
a problem.
of colours.
So all you need to do is you thread up your machine in the same way as the instruction manual tells you, but very quickly. I'm going to pick out this jade green, I think. Pop that on to your top. Always make sure that the foot is raised when you are threading up your machine. The reason being is it opens the tension discs up, and it means that the thread can pass through those tension discs. So I'm going to pop that like so. Your image there shows that the thread needs to feed from the underside of the spool, so just make sure that your spool is sitting the right way around and that you don't get your thread caught up like I've just done. So there we go. Got some fabulous Madeira threads on the show as well today. So if you do need embroidery threads, do check those out. And then all you're going to do is you're going to thread your machine up. I'm doing it from a very strange angle here, but you should really, when you're threading up a machine, use 2 hands to thread it at this stage. And this particular one, the thread comes round here, it goes underneath, through there, and there's a loop which is in that section there. It will pass round that and come back down. Don't pull it too hard though, like I've just done, or you break your thread. Okay. But all of this that I'm talking about you will find in your instructions. So round like so, down, there you go, and you'll be able to feel it come through. Down to where your needle is, through the needle guide, and again, check your instructions. It will show you everything that we're doing here. You've got a little thread catch on the side there, which I can't reach, so I'm just going to pull that thread. Hook it under your needle threader. That will pass through the eye of the needle, whoops, like so. Again, I'm doing this very caggy-handed. Under there, and it should thread your needle, which it has done. And I pulled it straight back out again, purely because of the angle that I'm doing it at. Can I just twist that round?
Angle, Hayley, don't worry.
Let me just twist that round.
Obviously, you have the instructions on how to thread your machine. It's a very intuitive machine, and it's built in with the features, so it has got that threader for you as well.
There we go. So that's going to come underneath like so, and then we are ready to go. Okay. Scissors means I can actually cut that thread if I wanted to, or again, I can just use it on the side there. Can you cut that? I can't see where the thread cutter is on the side there. You've obviously got your scissors that come with this as well, so if you do want to use your scissors, you can do.
Nifty pair of scissors that come along, Hayley.
Done?
All done. Fabulous. Right.
That's the one thing I can do. I can thread it up.
Now, let me see. Oh, have I put the USB stick in there? Okay. I don't think I've saved the design on this one now. Not to worry, but we can do it with John's. So, with your embroidery hoop, you have got this bracket that's on the side here. Now, that is the bit that needs to sit into the embroidery unit. So, you've got a clip. So what you need to do is you need to offer up that hoop to your machine, perhaps lift the foot up out of the way, like so, okay, flip your fabric out of the way, and basically make sure that that piece there sits in that little slider, and you'll actually see there's a little arm there that will kind of lock it in place. You'll almost hear it click, and it's in place there. It's a bit fiddly to start with, especially if you've got a lot of fabric under there, but you'll okay, and just make sure that that little kind of springy clip is raised back up again. It's not halfway down. Okay.
How you getting on, John?
You all right there?
Yeah, I think
Brilliant.
so.
Move your fabric out of the way. It's a good idea to just keep an eye on your fabric there. If you've got any quilt clips, you could roll the fabric up and clip it in place just so it doesn't get caught on anything. But
what's a quilt?
For the purposes. Quilt clips are little kind of clippy things. I haven't got any close to hand to
like
show you.
Like a type thing?
It could be a bulldog clip. It could be anything that you want, basically, to keep your fabric out of the way.
Cool.
So, pretty much ready to go. Okay. You've got a variety of different features on your machine, so if you did want to move it around within your hoop, you can do. Lots of tuition on YouTube for Husqvarna Viking to find that, but because we've got time is upon us, we're going to start stitching out, otherwise you won't see anything stitching, so we're going to do that now. So we've got our hoop, we're happy with everything, it's all looking good, so all we need to do now is press the start button. So
this is where it gets exciting.
Okay, now what's it telling you there, John?
Please lower the presser foot.
Okay, so there you go. Lower the presser foot and press OK.
So hopefully you're at this stage with us at home.
Okay, so if you press the start button again. There you go. Oh, I can't seem to see what's going on.
Shall I take the stop off?
Oh, sorry, yes. I didn't notice that on there. Oh.
How are we getting on?
Raise the press foot, okay. Okay. Let me go back to...
So just talk us through what you're doing, Hayley.
All it is, I've gone into the wrong thing, to be honest. So going back into the hoop, you need to just press your start there. Sorry, I went very quiet there. Try it again. Please lower the foot. Okay, press start again. Right, there, I don't know what to... Okay. Why is it not? I'm not quite sure what's happening here.
Teasing us. Have you messed around with the settings again, John?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether if we go into the settings, try to set automatic stop for, right, okay. Oops, hold on. go back into stitch, get rid of that.
Yeah. Now, as we're doing this, I'm sure a lot of you at home will be Craftalong with us. Maybe you've got your machines going and very shortly you'll have your completed design. Please, we would love it if you could put your completed designs, take a picture and pop it on the Hochanda Facebook page so we could have a look. Tag John, tag Hayley in as well. We would really like to see that. Just going to show you, we have got threads available, as Hayley mentioned, really nice Madeira threads. So we're just going to jump on the website and show those. $26.99, look at that, £8 saving. 135961, your item number there. Loads of options. So you can go for your classic number 40, and they're 100% viscose filament. We've also got in the mix the polyester in there as well. $26.99, another £8 saving. 072812, your item number there. It's got a core spun, polyester core spun. Now the metallics, these will look special on your Christmassy makes. Oh, that sounds nice. What happened, Hayley? I was filling as best I could. We're just going through the metallics. $34.99, saving £5, 103,904. One more to show. The metallic smooth. Ooh, snazzy. Again, £5 saving there, $34.99, 851 842 item number.
One thing I hadn't noticed is that John had got his pedal plugged into the side of the machine.
Right.
Now, when that's put in place, it overrides the stop button. So what was happening is the machine was like, well, hang on a minute, you press it, you've got the pedal there that you're going to press the pedal to get the machine started.
The pedal, it would have started.
Yes, so I've unplugged it now. So when we actually press the start button, it'll start stitching out. So yeah, and I remember somebody mentioning that before, and I meant to tell you.
That's a really good point. You had us worried.
This is what we're learning.
But that's
another point that would throw me out at home.
There you go. Now you can see what's happening here. You've got your outline that's being created. So that is basically telling you where you need to lay down your fabric now. So all you need to do is bring your fabric that you've got in your Craftalong kit and lay that now on top of the fabric that you've got there, because you can see exactly where you need to position that applique fabric. So there you go.
And right side up, obviously.
Right side up, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
And just make sure that you can't see any of that design, because otherwise you'll have a little hole. Then drop the foot down again, and then off you go, stitch again. And what I've done is, when I've actually built this design in, I've put in what they call stops. It's telling you to cut your thread, but just press OK again, that's fine. And then start again. You can actually, in the settings, tell it to stop so you can trim your threads, and away you go. So now it's stitching out Sam again, but what it's doing on this occasion is actually putting that applique fabric in place. Now, John, in your set, your little red bag, you've got some applique scissors which you've actually got within your Craftalong kit. And these are brilliant because these are duckbill scissors, which are perfect for actually trimming away the fabric that you've got. So that's going to stitch around, and it's actually doing 2 or 3 kind of rotations to make sure that it is down in place.
It's so smooth, look at it.
Okay, and it will stop again in a few moments. Okay. And then basically what you need to do is take the hoop off again. So if you undo that clip, okay, slide it towards you.
Lift up the foot.
Lift the foot up as well, that's it. Slide it towards you. There you go. Maybe lift it over the back of the hoop as well, just because it's quite chunky at the back.
Of course, I forget.
There you go. Move the machine out of the way a little bit. We're going to come back to that, but what you need to do now is trim away the fabric. Right. Now, what you do with these, can I just show you, just it's easy to show rather than explain. These are designed so they're going to actually protect your design. So what you need to do is basically take your scissors, like so, and you'll see that it will separate them out. Now I'm just trying to think which way around to do it, and I think it's actually that way. Yeah, it's that way, because that is going to protect your fabric underneath. So that flat blade goes against the fabric of your book cover, and you're literally just snipping like that, just roughly going around the edge like so, to trim away. Now, it depends how neat you want that to be as to how close you go. You've actually got 2 pairs of scissors there, so between those 2 pairs of scissors, you'll be able to get it relatively close with there.
Excellent.
Can I show you another feature on the machine where you are able to do like a heart?
Yeah, I love it.
Can I give you that, Yanis?
Okay.
So this is actually a heart that's built into the machine. So if you wanted to do the Craftalong, but you didn't want to do the jelly baby that John is working with, this is one of the super designs that you've got within the machine.
Lovely.
So if we go back to the software, just while John's clipping away those elements, we've still got the image there of what we were creating. I'm just going to click on there and I'm just going to delete that and get rid of that. So we're back to our canvas, our blank canvas, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go into Super Designs. Now in Super Designs, you've got all sorts of different things in here that you can work with. Again, some of them are greyed out because it's the upgrade of the software.
Yeah.
In here, you have got a section, you've got cartoon characters there, birthdays, all sorts. Yeah. You've got some little hearts. So if we go into the section where you've got your hearts featuring here, you've actually got ones where you can applique in place. So you've got borders, you've got some that have got fills in there, lots of different styles with these ones, as you can see. And then you just decide on which of those you're wanting to go for. So I've forgotten which one I went into. Was it that one? I think it was that one. And I chose, which one was it with the applique? I think it was that one. So apply that one, and then you can see there, oh, this is actually the one with a fill in there, so it's actually got a stitch inside it. But you can play around with these and actually make it into one where you've got fabric on the inside of that particular one. So in a similar sort of way to the way that John has been working, you can actually have an applique version of these. These are all Super Designs, so there's loads in here. So any of these that you're wanting to bring into a design, you can do. So you can have loads of fun with these, and you can just resize them in the same way as we were talking before. You can have whatever you like in it, play around with it. But of course, you'll have the luxury of time to investigate all these as time goes on. Okay. And I might do a few kind of Facebook things with these as well.
Lovely.
So now you've trimmed that away, John, so you're popping it back on your machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're ready to start doing your next stage, which is going to be the satin stitch, which again is built in with the design. So if you press on OK, it should start off. It'll probably pause like it did before about cutting your threads, but that's fine. Okay.
Oh, please lower
Put
the
you there.
front.
Press OK, and it should go off again in a moment, she says. Okay, so again, it's asking you to cut your threads, but just press OK and then start again. And off you go. Now, what it's doing now is securing that fabric in place. So you've trimmed it away already, but it's making sure that it's actually secure and it's not going anywhere.
This is so clever. It really is. No, I know this is really clever.
Now this is the design that we're working on here. We'll stick with this. I mean, I had got a thing that Yanis was potentially going to be able to have a little go up with the free motion, but because we've had a couple of little kind of hiccups, if it's okay with everybody, we'll stick with this here.
Yeah.
Good, isn't it?
I think it's amazing.
You can take the next few minutes off if you want, Yanis. I'm loving John's face watching the...
I am genuinely really impressed and fascinated by it.
John, I'm intrigued now. When you go home, what are you going to be doing?
I'm going to be doing this.
Yeah? What kind of projects are you going to be doing?
But now you've created this design, I mean, you could be putting this onto a tote bag, it could be that you're putting onto some fabric that in turn becomes a cushion cover. Because you've designed it and you've saved it, you can resize this to whatever you like. At the moment, what it's doing a satin stitch, I think. I'm not looking, but is it doing a satin stitch? You're doing it in quite a light thread, so from the angle where I am, I can't quite see it, but it's basically securing all of those stitches in place and working its way around and doing all that fabulous design there.
I think the thing is that I mean, I noticed earlier, and again, there is a fear, and I think there's a fear with a lot of people at home with the machine. I didn't actually, first of all, I mean, I've learned lots, but I did, I clicked it onto normal satin stitch, something else I have done before, yeah, but when I pressed start, it just went. I didn't have to get any tension.
Yes.
So you know, if you wanted to just do free applique or something.
Oh, free motion, you can do all that, yeah.
I didn't have to start pushing the fabric or anything.
Yes.
I could just, and it would go. And the other thing is, I mean, I only got my Craftalong kit this morning because I'm never at home to do it.
That's the first time you've used those.
First time I've ever used these. This is the piece I did earlier. Yeah. Can you see where I tried to trim it away?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just genuinely. And I snipped it underneath because I didn't know about things like this.
Yeah.
So if I'd have done that, I wouldn't have snipped that fabric. Yeah.
Now already we're about halfway around that design, as you can see. Now we've got quite a narrow satin stitch on here, but you could make it wider when you're actually doing that design feature that we were looking at earlier on. You can play around with the settings that you've got on there and make it as wide, or play around with the fonts and things like that.
I want to sit now with my scissors and, you know, but I can't until it's finished.
Well, yeah, it is very tempting to do that, honestly. But you see, the raw applique is kind of what I've got on those flowers. I like that raw look where you've got kind of the frayed flowers and elements around. That's quite a heavy bag. I've got a lot of stuff in that one, yeah. That's half my craft room in there. But when we were talking about converting fonts, that's exactly what I did with that letter H that we've got there. I made that into a font earlier on, and yeah, used that in exactly the same way. Yeah, so it's the scope that you've got with it, I think, is the key thing.
Nice.
So could I actually, if I was doing this and I'm at home, could I actually walk away from this?
You could.
Or should I sit and watch it?
Yeah, I never recommend that you kind of leave it completely, because if something went wrong with it, then you need to be close at hand in order to put that situation right. So you wouldn't kind of set it up and then leave it and go off to the shops or anything like that. But what you can do is you could continue designing on your computer for your next project. A lot of embroidery machines that you buy, you have to have your laptop hooked up to your machine while it's stitching out, and then you are literally just sitting there watching it stitch.
I've done that before with cutting, a very early cutting machine I had that I think I bought from you.
Oh, right.
A long time ago.
Gosh, that's a while back now. I forgot about that.
But that was the frustrating thing. I had to wait for it to cut. But it was running off my laptop, so I couldn't do anything else. So now it's switched and it's doing the eyes then.
Oh, it's in a little face on you, putting your little eyes in place, as you can see here. So this is where the facial features are coming into play now. But what you can do is you can actually stop it at this stage. I mean, here we've obviously let it carry on and run. Yeah, I think we might have at some point put it into what they call monochromatic mode, because you had got 2 different colour changes, I think at somewhere along the line. Is it asking for your different colour thread now?
It's asking me to cut thread.
Oh, right, so yeah, because it's moved on to a different part of your design. What you can do, and I think inadvertently we have done that, in your actual guide, your guide that you've got here, you can take out those colour breaks. So say if I was doing this and I just wanted it all in one particular colour, then you can take those colours out, which is what I think we've done here. So it's not stopping and asking us to change to the different colours of the threads, but it will mention it in here how to do all that.
Viewers at home who craft along with us, when you're getting to this stage now, the machine will be saying change
Probably,
thread.
yes,
because
you'll have done it. And you can change it to, I think what did I do? I did red features. Oh no, it's all on the same. I thought it was different colours, but no, I have done it all on the same. I thought it was I changed the thread, so no, yours is probably doing the same as John's actually.
But that mouth is so detailed. These threads are beautiful.
The Madeira threads, yeah.
I've not worked with these. I've never seen this before, and I've got to say, I'm genuinely impressed. They've got it's like a sheen.
Yes.
It's like,
well, that's because it's got rayon in there.
Sorry.
Rayon will give it that sheen.
Right.
And it is a case of that when you've got a good quality thread, then you get the good quality results. That's the key thing with these. They do a whole host of different threads.
So you'd recommend using a good quality.
Oh gosh,
so
yes,
I bought
definitely.
the threads I bought earlier then.
Yes, yeah.
What impressing me is the workspace as well with the hoop. I don't know if you feel the same way. Have you ever seen just embroidery machines and the size of hoop traditionally that you get? The size of hoop that we're working with is fantastic. Such a good space.
Well, this is the key thing. You're creating a good sized project here. It's not like a little tiny piece that you've got here. Now I'm hoping that we get to the stitching where you can actually, in fact, I might get it to stop in a few moments. We'll let it do the next little bit, which is the arm, but I'd be interested to actually see the stitching. We can come back to this potentially. What you can do, and I'll get John to stop it in a few moments, when it moves on to the next point, if you press the stop button, it'll stop your design. So press stop. Okay. Yeah. Now, when you have a little look in your window, you'll actually be able to see the information of which stitch you're on.
Yes, so, I'm on 921 of 1,249.
That's it. And you can see it's in 2 of 3 colours.
Yeah.
So at the moment, or 2 of 3 stages, should I say. Yeah. First stage has been the applique, the second stage has been the detail, the third stage will be your stitching with your letters.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is, you could do with jotting down 921. If you've got a pen and paper, we'll have to remember that one. 921.
921.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is we're going to go to cut your threads to start with. So where it's got cut there, cut your threads, because we're going to jump onto the next colour. So I'm going to click on there, which will take you to number 3. Now, if you press start, it will start stitching out your lettering, because this is something that we wanted to see. We can go back to that point again at a later stage, but if you press, that's it, off it will go. And it will do stitching out the personalisation that you did in the font that you did, which potentially could be your own designed font.
This, I think, is the gem for me.
Yes.
This is the bit. You know, at the end of the day, I know people have gone back to school, kids have gone back to school, but you do have to name everything. You have to name everything, and personalisation is massive this year.
Look at this.
It's absolutely massive at Christmas.
Hayley,
this year, it's what they're predicting is more than the toys.
Yeah, did that for my daughter.
I mean, that in itself, can you imagine the personalisation, different projects you're going to do? As we continue this, time is running out. If the machine is in your basket...
You could do the fortnight to cover everything that you've got on this machine.
I really hope you've enjoyed these shows. What I would say, again, just going back to the fact, because we know consistently we've had a lot of machines in baskets I'm checking out, but right now we still have machines in baskets. If this is in your basket, what I would advise, go online really quickly and have a look how much a machine is selling for elsewhere. If you just want to solidify in your mind value for money, and remember, you can split the price in half. And I hope this sound, I think Hayley demonstrated beautifully though, the potential. This is a tip of the iceberg.
And you know where I am. I am here, so if you have any issues at all, get in touch via the social media, or get in touch via the call centre. They can get an email to me if you don't have access to the internet in that respect. But just get in touch, yeah, I'll help you every step of the way.
It's such a good machine. The potential. Hayley, how do you use your machine? Because I know you do so many
Lots of things like we can see here, where I've done the flowers, where I've done personalisation. Things like the flowers on the bag I've put onto garments as well. Oh, wow. Doing gifts as well for people, things that show that you've thought about somebody and put them that personal touch.
You made us all on it?
Yes, I forgot about those, the labels that we've got on our drawers in the Presenters Lounge. How's that looking, John? You pleased?
You've done something on the drawers on everyone in the Presenters Lounge?
Yeah.
Cool.
All our names.
This is genuinely, I'm really, really pleased. I can't think of the right word. I think, I feel really bad that a couple of slip-ups we've not got everything finished.
That's
but
okay.
I think if there are, and I know there are people out there like me who have bought this and have bought other things in the past, and seen the shows, and then, I recorded them, then lost them off the box and moved house. And this is what I love about here, and what we've done is that hopefully it's given people the confidence, because I know now I'm doing this. I am doing this when I get home. I've got so many things to do, and just from the talking through on the computer and seeing it work, and it's logical.
It is. Now, if you press the stop button, the stop button at the top here, that will actually mean, I think it's illuminated. Does it come up? There's not a little light on it. No. It will mean that it doesn't stop in between each of those letters.
Right.
So at the moment it's stopping, which you might want. You might want to put a different colour thread on for each one of those letters if you want to do like a real rainbow thing. Yeah. But by pressing the stop, I don't know whether we've got it activated or not at the moment, but we'll find out when we move on to the next stitch. If it automatically goes on to the next stitch, it's done it automatically. You haven't had to do anything.
Nice.
Oh, no.
Cut the thread.
So press start and then press the stop button again, and then it should, with gumption, it should now continue to stitch out those letters without you having to keep starting it each time.
Do you feel more confident with your machine now?
I really, really do. Yeah, I really do. And I think I can actually say for the first time in at least 2, if not 3 years, I'm A, very comfortable that I made the right decision, but B, I'm really, really confident that I bought the right thing, and that I will use it, and that I can use it. I can make blinds, I can make curtains. I used to do it when I was at college at 18 to make extra money. I haven't done much since. This has shown me that I can use an embroidery machine. I can turn my own designs, I can do my own text. Yeah. Definitely, this has been brilliant.
And the thing is as well, I'm quite happy to kind of keep in touch with people. If the people want me to do things like Facebook Lives, if you've got any questions after the show or anything like that, I just want to make sure that you get the most out of this machine. That's the key thing. You're not on your own, not on your own at all.
And that is a really big point. I really hope you've enjoyed this craft along. If you do want to see more sewing-based craft alongs, please get in touch with the Hochanda. Let us know. We will always pass on that feedback. Can I say a huge thank you though to both John and Hayley, because I've enjoyed this, and I really hope you have as well.
You didn't get to do any sewing. I was hoping to be able to show you some sewing as well.
It's just been lovely though to sit, and even though I don't have the machine, I kind of would feel now there is that foundation to build on. I feel confident you've done such a good job in going through the basics.
Yeah, there's loads more to this though.
But thinking about, we explored just obviously the initial, we started off getting that software on there, which is fine. And once you've done that, then just pulling up your designs, little things like resizing, so making sure you've got the blue tabs and the resizing.
That foot pedal as well when you come to embroidery mode. Yeah,
I think the mistakes that I did,
they're things that people could do.
Things that people would do. And it does show that that's how it is, and we've learned from it.
Thank you both so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, John. Thanks for coming up with the suggestions. Thank you, Ernest.
You both are stars. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please send pictures of your makes. I know that John and Hayley would love to see it. Put it on our Hochanda Facebook page. Tag us in. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this craft.